Hello, Richard Fink with MovieWeb. How are we doing today?
Doing great.
How are you?
Doing great, guys. Thank you so much for sitting down and talking with me about the movie Uglies. Now, a lot of questions to get to, and the first one I'm very curious about is you both sort of represent the different moral axes of the movie. One about, accepting yourself as you are, the other aspiring to be, wanting to be more because of what society has told you. What attracted you guys to this project?
Just, the idea that it was an adaptation, from, Scott Westerfeld's words in his world, which he, published in 2005. And I just think that was like the idea of that in a dystopian world today in modern time. It's like, why not? You know what I'm saying? That's like super exciting to get into.
Yeah. I think just like you said, at its core, it's telling stories that matter and telling stories that need to be told. And it feels even more present than it did in 2005 with this movie. So, it kind of felt like a no-brainer to jump on this project.
I mean, that kind of builds into my next question is, it has been almost 20 years since the book was published. What about the message back then was relevant, and why do you think it's relevant today for a modern audience?
With social media, I think it's extremely relevant. I mean, it's the pressure on the youth to try to be something that they're not, or this idea of what perfect is. And I just think, like, the story is so relevant to that, and I feel like that's what's so cool about this, because it's a YA film, but it has a strong message that is so, it's something that we still, we talk about all the time too, like, no matter what your age is having to face those pressures of, like, being perfect, or the idea of perfect because of what you see on TV or social media.
I agree. Yeah, it's a time where we're in a constant comparison and contrast.
Yeah.
Everything is directly in front of us, and so I think this is just a film that really highlights that on a very large scale, and a lot of fun action in between it all.
Yeah.
You guys do get to do a lot of fun action.
Yeah.
I have one final question then for you both, and that is, you both kind of referenced the books prior. Did you guys kind of look to where your characters go in the future of the books when informing your characters, or did you kind of stick with just what was in the script and kind of let that inform your portrayal?
What was in the script when I was filming, for sure. Afterwards, I definitely took a little peek into the future, but not too much. I just I heard people on set talk about a few things, and I've seen stuff like in comments and stuff, but I wouldn't say I took a deep dive into it. But now that you asked that again, I might have to go back. Look, I'm like, hold on.
Give a little.
Yeah.
Paris in this movie is a little bit different than how he was portrayed in the book. And that was just based on, like you had talked about, the kind of the duality of both sides of the world. And so I think, anytime you are doing an adaptation, there's a little bit of wiggle room there. So whatever we get the opportunity to do in the future, if that presents itself, hopefully Paris gets a little opportunity to redeem himself.
Well, I hope you get that opportunity, and I hope both of you I see you both in the sequel.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys so much for staying down to talk with us.
Absolutely. No,
Appreciate
thank you for
you.
being